Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video. This is Thegameconomist, and today we're going to be talking about upcoming news for Monster Hunter World. It is January the 21st, Monday. We have about, what do you think, 4 to 5 days left for the appreciation event to come around. And for those of you who might have missed the news from last week, or as well as I have a few other things to talk about as well, let's go ahead and cover all the bases, right? All the important parts. So first of all, there's really nothing to do this week on the console. That's still true. If you're really bored out of your mind, consider joining my Discord channel. There's a link in the description of every video. And join our Turf Wars. We're having a lot of fun with that. What we do is we make up our own challenges, and then everyone agrees to the rules on those. And they're actually a lot of fun, and we record all of the events so that you can actually see yourself playing later. So we're doing that. And we're going to continue to do that from now on. I think it's been pretty successful. It's been a lot of fun. That's on the console. On the PC, you guys are fighting the Extreme Behemoth, which admittedly for some people aren't too crazy excited about getting the layered Drachen armor set. It's not that important. You also get a reward for the guild card that lets you show off that you've defeated the Extreme Behemoth. It's not a big deal, guys. If you don't want to fight Extreme Behemoth, it's totally understandable. On the other hand, he's not as bad as you probably think he is. If you just practice a lot, you're gonna beat him. It's like any video game. If you practice enough, you'll beat the Extreme Behemoth. That's all there is to it. Now, the 25th is when, well, it's funny because it says 25th on the event schedules, but on Capcom's tweet, it says the 26th. I'm assuming that's because of the time zone differences, right? We are getting the appreciation event. And with the appreciation event, we are going to get some kind of new armor set, probably similar to all of the seasonal events. We always get a new armor set, right? Like we just got the Orion armor for the Winter Festival. Well, for the appreciation event, you can see that they're wearing a white suit. So I'm assuming that's going to be an armor set that you're going to be able to earn during the event. Also, all of the previous events that are normally locked finally come out of rotation and become available again. So there is a lot to do. Let's talk about some of the more important things. You have the Fury of El Dorado. That's Tempered Kulve Taroth, who has 95 Kiar weapons. Some of the Kiar weapons are pretty valuable, we've discovered. So yeah, you'll probably want to get in there and earn as many of those as you can. This is a tip for the players on the PC. You guys don't have Tempered Kulve Taroth yet. In fact, what's going to happen during the appreciation event is regular Kulve Taroth is going to become available, and you guys are going to be able to farm her up if you want to. But what I recommend is that you don't actually go too crazy. Farm her if you really feel like it, like you're having fun fighting her, but don't grind her, you know what I mean? Because what's going to happen is eventually you're going to get Tempered Kulve Taroth, and it's more efficient to try and farm up all of her weapons while you're farming her at that point. That's because while you're getting these rainbow relics, or whatever you want to call them, you also get the old weapons as well, and the drop rate, in my opinion, is pretty fair. So yeah, I would say wait for Tempered Kulve Taroth to come out, and then go crazy. Then you can grind her like mad. Alright, after that, we have the USJ Gold Star Treatment and USJ Blazing Azure Stars. There is a special armor set if you go ahead and play those event quests a few times. It's not the most important armor set. What is it called? The Azure Starlord? Something like that. The Azure Starlord armor set. And it's a critical element armor set. And I really only consider using it for the legs. The legs have a crit boost on it, but to tell you the truth, I have never had to use that set. Maybe somebody in the audience, someone in the comment section, can tell me if those leggings are critical for any optimal builds, but I don't think I've ever seen one. Now that I think about it, I guess time kind of shows you how we prioritize armor pieces, right? Let's see what else we have. We have the Code Red event. That's from the Dante collaboration. And really what you're looking for from the Code Red event, besides the layered armor, you're looking for the Dante legs. The Dante legs give you 2 levels of weakness exploit, and then 2 small decoration slots. That's an efficient pair of legs that gives you a way to build weakness exploit in the leg slot. There's Silent, Deadly, and Fierce. That's the previous Assassin's Creed event quest. It just came out not too long ago. You get there's an Assassin's Creed Layered armor, who I've already forgotten the name of it. It looks terrible in my opinion. And then you also get the new mantle, which, I mean, it has some interesting mechanics to it that allow you to do bonus damage to a monster that hasn't detected you yet, but it's not really like, to be honest, it's not that strong. It just isn't. So it does let you run faster though. That's kind of cool, but not that useful. Yeah, the running faster is actually useful if you're just doing nothing but gathering right? If you jump into a map and your whole goal is to run around gathering things, then yeah, the mantle is useful for that. But for combat, I do not recommend that mantle. Rocksteady and Temporal Mantle all the way. Alright, and then we have the Extreme Behemoth, which once again, that's going to become available on the console if you haven't already completed it, and it's already available on the PC. If you want to complete it, you're going to have a lot of time to work on this, because it's not going away until February the 21st, so it's going to be around for a while. That's that's almost a full month. It's not a big deal though. Once again, I don't ever get too excited for the rewards for that. Let's see what else we have. There's the Greeting the Gluttons event quest. I think that is a good event quest if you are on one of the consoles. Say on the PC, you can actually use a mod to give yourself a ton of vouchers. Meal vouchers, that is. So you can have like 400 meal vouchers. But if you're playing on one of the consoles, you kind of have to earn them. So Greeting the Gluttons is a very fast, easy event quest that can pay you out a couple vouchers at a time. I recommend grinding that for a solid hour with a really powerful setup, maybe like cluster bombs. Just get it done for 1 hour. You're going to have a whole bunch of vouchers, and then when you're playing with something like, a gun lance or sticky ammo, you're going to be able to build for Bombardier, which is really valuable. You'll also have not just Bombardier. If you want to build for something like Feline Moxie, you're going to be able to build for that. By build, I mean at the canteen, you're going to be able to put together the little ingredients and get 100% activation rates if you used a voucher to pay for the meal, for those of you who are still figuring out the canteen. Maybe I should do a video on that sometime. Then we have the Timberland Troublemakers. So Timberland Troublemakers is coming to the PC as well. This is going to be a new quest for you guys. It says, forge a special Bristly hammer. The Bristly hammer is insane. It's not overpowered, but is one of the coolest looking hammers in the game. You have to give it credit for that, because sometimes you have fun in the game by playing with a weapon that looks fun. See what I'm saying? So the Bristly hammer is a reward of the Timberland Troubles quest. It's going to be new on the PC. Highly recommend picking it up. It actually is the new best poison hammer on the PC, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I strongly recommend you guys get that one done. If you're on the console and you missed this one during the Winter Festival, now's your opportunity to pick it up. It's really not a bad hammer. Even if you're kind of like you just started high rank, I would still do this and pick up that hammer. It's not bad. It's a very cheap hammer. Alright, and then another important event quest that's going to become available. This is for players who maybe have just recently gotten into Monster Hunter, you're not aware of it. You're going to have the event quest called Every Hunter's Dream, okay? And it says, forge the greatsword that was designed by one of our very own fans. So this greatsword, called the Wyvern Ignition Impact Greatsword, is the meta for greatswords. It's going to give you one of the strongest weapons in the game. If you don't already have it, I highly recommend you go pick it up. If you already have one of them, you can even pick up a second one. That's because you might have a greatsword build where you want to have double health regen, and a different greatsword build where you want to have, I don't know, maybe 1 health regen and 1 affinity, or 2 attack. So you can pick up a second one and augment it differently for fun. So yeah, even if you've already got one, go pick up another one. And then there's the Triple Threat Throwdown. This is a very easy event quest that we're already having a lot of fun with over with the Turf Wars group that I mentioned earlier. With this one, you're going to be getting a lot of low-ranked decorations. So if you're new to the game, you really should be going into Triple Threat Throwdown and just spamming that event over and over again until you kind of fill out all of your cheap, easy decorations. And that's really going to improve, it's going to like set you up to be able to farm for the rarer decorations, the ones that really require heavy farming. There's the Wiggle Me This event. The Wiggle Me This event gives you the Wiggler helmet. However, the Wiggler helmet has become pretty outdated with the Lunastra armor set. You have Lunastra Alpha legs, gives you 2 levels of wide range. You have the Lunastra Fan Braces Beta. That's going to give you 2 levels of wide range as well. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head, so it kind of takes a while for me to load it. And then you have the Empress Helmet Gamma, and I think that gives you 2 levels of friendship as well, but it gives you 3 small decoration slots that are empty. So you can build the entire skill from the helmet, and you get peak performance as well. It's a really powerful helmet. So the Wiggler helmet's pretty outdated. There's actually a different quest you can do that unlocks the Layered Wiggler helmet, which is what most people do. So now if you want to look funny while you play, you just unlock the Layered armor set for the Wiggler helmet, and you just wear that over your actual helmet. And the name of that event quest that gives you the Layered Wiggler helmet is the King's No Fear event quest, okay? And this is actually going to be new on the PC as well. This event quest is going to be available on PC for the first time, so if you are on PC, you'll want to run off, do that quest a few times, and get that Layered Wiggler helmet. There's the Relish The Moment. This is that Rarity 9 Tempered Deviljho quest. I don't really understand the reasoning with it. I wish they had just made him a regular tempered monster and then had the level 9 difficulty Deviljho just be Arch-Tempered Deviljho. That would make more sense to me. He used to be well known for farming for the, it says right in the description, the Sullied and Shining Streamstones, but these days it's actually not as hard to unlock those. Capcom eventually increased the drop rate for those rewards, so it's not as hard to get those as before, and so people don't really play Relish at the moment as much, in my opinion. Also, just the fact that a lot of people finished getting enough Sullied and Shining Streamstones that they don't need them as much either. So there's different ways to farm them, and people don't need them as much. We have the Keeper of the Otherworld quest. So this is simply fighting Xeno'jiva. Xeno'jiva, you know, it's not the Arch-Tempered version, it's the regular version of the Xeno'jiva. He's really important still. So we had all these Lunastra weapons come out, some of them very valuable, especially anytime you get like a Styx version of the Lunastra weapons, like the Styx light bowgun, for example. And if you want to make them, you always gotta have Xeno'jiva horns. And I've discovered that you quickly run out of Xeno'jiva horns because you need to make those weapons, you need to make the Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiva Gamma armor set, maybe you don't even have the base Alpha Beta Xeno'jiva armor set, so you just need a ton of Xeno'jiva horns. This is why this event quest is so valuable. You can go in there and I've actually created a method for farming the Xeno'jiva horns very quickly. I'll leave a link in the description, a link in the comment section, or you can click the link up above. And then we start to take a look at all of the Arch-Tempered Elder Dragons who are coming back with the Appreciation event. It looks like they're going to be available from the 25th to the 21st. This is the same on PC. All of the ones that you've had available are coming back. I think, the last one you guys had was Arch-Tempered Teostra. And I'll just briefly go through them and mention any really valuable pieces of armor. For Arch-Tempered Kirin, he has the chest plate, which gives you 2 levels of free element and 2 small decoration slots. Very efficient. A lot of bowgun builds use that piece of armor after unlocking the Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiva Gamma armor set. You have the Deathly Quiet Curtain with Arch-Tempered Valhazak. So many names to remember, guys. So many names. He's useful as well. He has the Waste slot, which is extremely efficient for, well, it's not extremely efficient, but it helps build your dragon damage a bit, at the same time being as efficient as many of the more valuable coils. Alternatively, you could go with the Vambraces, and that gives you 3 levels of dragon damage. That's pretty much the meta for building dragon damage. So his Vambraces and his coil. Then we have Arch-Tempered Teostra. Arch-Tempered Teostra is interesting. You use his armor set for building the Master's Touch skill, and when you do this on the Teostra Gamma set, it's not as good as the Draken armor set, but it gives you fire resistance, which is better defense, so it depends on what you want. And recently I've come to appreciate the Teostra Gamma armor set for building fire resistance. It's actually pretty good. I'm actually going to be coming out with a video soon on Greatsword builds, and we'll be taking a look at the Teostra Gamma set in that video as well. Then we have, for consoles only, Arch-Tempered Kushala Daora. He gave us a Waste slot that gives you 2 levels of Handicraft and 2 small decoration slots. I've used it now and then. It's not the most important piece of armor, but yeah, I've actually used it once or twice. And then another piece of armor that's actually pretty good, his Vambraces, which give you 2 levels of Focus and 3 small decoration slots, is one of the only pieces of armor that truly competes with the Damascus chest piece. Then you have Undying Alpenglow. That's the Arch-Tempered Zora Magdaros? Yeah, Zora Magdaros. So many names. And this is giving you the Gamma set for Zora Magdaros. The Gamma set is interesting if you put 3 pieces of that armor set together. Is it 3 or 4? It's 3. You're going to get the Critical Status skill, and that's just okay, is what we've discovered. It seems like critical status weapons still don't seem to hold a candle up to the meta weapons, but I feel like part of that isn't just because critical status isn't valuable, it's because critical status weapons, for whatever reason, they tend to just not have enough raw damage on the build. So that's the main problem, and we're kind of seeing a little bit of improvement with that with the Kiar weapons, except Capcom recently talked about how the Kiar weapons are bugged. The critical status is not proccing on the QR weapons, and they are going to patch that very soon. So that won't be an issue in the future. We're going to get a better sense of how good the QR critical status weapons are. But yeah, so you can put 3 pieces of armor together from the Zora Magdaros Gamma armor sets for this critical status. The other thing, it has a coil piece that gives you 2 levels of Bombardier, and this is pretty much the meta coil piece now for fighting Kulve Taroth. So basically, because Bombardier is so valuable for that fight, is one of the most efficient ways to get it into your build, essentially. So yeah, Zora Magdaros coil. Also, I suppose you should mention the Kulve Taroth chest piece, which is one of the most efficient ways to build anti-tremors, right? So you get 2 level of tremor resist, 3 small decoration slots. It's part of that archetype of very efficient chest pieces, and it comes into play when you're fighting Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva, who does cause a lot of tremors. And speaking of Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva, that's the next Arch-Tempered monster to talk about on the list. He's still not available on the PC either, so you guys are waiting for Arch-Tempered Kushala Daora, Arch-Tempered Zora Magdaros, Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva, and Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva is a lot of fun. He's Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva is a lot of fun. He's a very challenging monster, and his armor is very valuable. The Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva armor basically creates a new meta for bowguns. A lot of people call it the Drachen armor set for bowgun builds, and they are not wrong. It's a very important armor set for bowgun builds. You're going to have to farm the entire set off of him, and that means you're going to need a bunch of Xeno'jiiva horns. So once again, remember I talked to you about knowing how to farm the Xeno'jiiva horns. If you're on the PC and you know Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva still isn't out, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take this as an opportunity to go gather up all of the horns you're going to need in order to build that armor set. Finally, we have Arch-Tempered Lunastra. Arch-Tempered Lunastra gave us that overpowered Lunastra Gamma helmet, which it replaces the Wiggler helmet. We talked about that earlier. Other than that, I don't think I ever really use her armor set. I've seen an incredibly skilled speedrunner use her Gamma Vambraces once. I think he was doing it for the Agitator skill. He's like the only one I've seen doing that, though. I don't see anyone else doing that. Maybe it's because we need to take more time to see if we can learn about Agitator. I don't know, maybe I'll do that sometime. And finally, we have the new Greatest Jagras event quest is difficulty 9. That is the same difficulty as the Arch-Tempered monsters. Okay, so this is basically Arch-Tempered Great Jagras, and based on the picture, he's going to be massive. So get ready, and we don't know what the rewards are going to be either. It says, try to make it drop a glowing face stone, which makes me feel like if you bring the bandit mantle, you're going to be able to use the bandit mantle to get it to drop glowing face stones. If that was true, that will be insane. I don't think that's what they're going to do, but it's possible. Or maybe it will be able to drop glowing face stones, just not a lot of them. And then I'm curious, if it is an Arch-Tempered Jagras, are we going to get a new Great Jagras armor set? Which would be nice. I think that would be I think that would be fantastic, because it would imply that Capcom's going to give us new armor sets for all of the Tier 1 monsters and Tier 2 monsters. Speaking of which, the Greatest Jagras is not a fluke. It's not like a one-time funny event. They actually have a second monster that they announced that I failed to talk about in my previous news video, so we're going to talk about it today. The way the appreciation event is going to work is they have it split into 2 parts. The second part of the event begins on February 8th, and it appears we're getting the Witcher event. This is all confirmed by Capcom. We're getting the Witcher event starting February 8th. The fact that they're putting it together with the appreciation event makes me feel that it's not going to be that substantial. Okay, you guys probably don't want to hear that, but I think it's going to be kind of like the Assassin's Creed collab. That's just my guess, but I don't think we're going to get like a unique monster. Obviously, they haven't shown us a monster all the way up to now, so I think it's fair to say we're not getting a new monster. We're probably going to get some fun event quests, a little storyline with the main character from Witcher, and then maybe we'll get a Witcher weapon if we're lucky. We didn't even get an Assassin's Creed weapon, so keep that in mind. So it might be the case we don't even get a weapon from this. It might just be the skin. I'm almost sure we'll get a skin from it. And then probably one more thing. It could be a mantle. It could be something else. We don't know. Okay, well, that's the one thing that we're going to get. The other thing, the thing that I'm actually more excited for, is we're probably going to be getting Arch-Tempered Lavasioth. Okay, that's a big deal. I really want that, because you guys didn't know this about me, Lavasioth is one of my favorite monsters in the game. Lavasioth and Uragon. I love both of those monsters. So when he comes out, I'm going to be all over that. In fact, I've thought about making videos before he even comes out, talking about some of his mechanics. He's a really interesting monster, so I was hoping Lavasioth and Gyratotus, they're both very interesting monsters that get totally overlooked because, for too long, perhaps, Capcom had focused on the Elder Dragons, but now they're coming back, they're picking up the Tier 2 monsters. I'm very excited. So February 8th, Lavasioth and the Witcher collab. And then before then, you have all of the old events coming back, but for most players who are totally caught up in the game, you're getting the greatest Jagras, probably Arch-Tempered Jagras is what we're talking about here. And then on the PC, it's the same deal. You're going to get Kulve Taroth is coming back. It's the non-Arch-Tempered version, which again, I recommend don't overfarm her, just play if you feel like playing, because when Arch-Tempered version does come out, then you can grind her like crazy. And you're going to be getting the greatest Jagras event as well. So don't miss out on that. You're going to pick up the Wiggler helmet, pick up the Bristly hammer. You'll want the Bristly hammer as well. Yep. And yeah, I think that covers everything. There was maybe one last thing for me to mention. In a stream, I believe it was a stream, I actually read about it on GameFAQs, and I didn't make a video on it, but I suppose it's worth mentioning. Capcom mentioned that they're not going to be calling the Iceborne a G rank expansion. I think they said they were going to call it like a master rank expansion. I'm trying to remember it now. It was a while when I looked it up, but yeah, it won't officially be called G rank, so some of you guys might find that interesting. All right, and that is the entire news event for today. It was basically a breakdown of the events. Normally when I do the news, I just talk about the actual news, but this time we kind of broke down what you should be doing in the event. I hope you guys are excited for it as much as I am. I'm pretty excited. All right, well, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.